Today I'm going to show you guys how to turn honeycomb into beeswax. So these are bee boxes. I'm sure you've seen them driving out in the countryside, and each one of these has frames in it. If you pull one of these frames out, you can see all this old honeycomb on here, and this honeycomb in these boxes is years old. It's just really old stuff. This one isn't too bad, but some of these are just all gunked up and just pretty nasty. And so we're gonna start fresh here this spring. My wife and I are getting a couple colonies of bees, and so as part of that, I just want to clean all these frames off, just kind of start fresh. Part of that is, you know, scraping all this old honeycomb off, and you could just throw it away, but I figure why not try turning it into a useful product. And so today we're going to try to turn some of this just nasty, gunky old wax here into usable beeswax. Just getting it all cleaned off. All right, there we go. Pretty good little haul. And as you can see, this is just really just junky stuff. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, you could shave it off and just throw it away, but really there's some good wax in there that to still recycle. So I'm excited. We'll get this thing on the burner, and we'll see what we can get out of this. So we got ourselves this nice sludge-like slurry here. Looks pretty nasty, but this is exactly what we're going for. Let's get it on the burner. For a strainer, I just have a 5-gallon pail here and an old white t-shirt. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this over the lid of the 5-gallon pail. Got a little bungee cord here. Try not to snap myself in the face. That'll work. All right, so we got a really nice boil going here, and the key now is to not let this thing boil over. That would be pretty bad. You want it to boil pretty good for about 10 minutes. And so, yeah, we're just gonna keep stirring this thing, make sure this thing doesn't boil over, and we'll meet you in about 10 minutes. So it's been 10 minutes now. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the burner off, and we're gonna go ahead and make the transfer. So it's the next day, and you can see here this wax has floated to the top, more or less, and it's this really nice, deep golden yellow color. This stuff here is kind of that water mixture. Some of it came up on top here, but really the natural tendency is for all this wax to float to the top. And so at this point, we're just gonna break this wax out of here, leave the water behind. I'm gonna dry these pieces off as I take them out, and then we're gonna put them into a double boiler to melt them down and purify it even further. Well, it came out in one nice big piece here. It's like a wax frisbee. So we're gonna go ahead and get this as dried and cleaned off as we can. It doesn't have to be perfect though, because once we put this into the double boiler, then we're gonna strain it through a second time, and that's what's really gonna purify it. So it's like a two-step purification process. but it will be helpful to try to get all the water off that we can right now. But again, you don't have to be perfect. All right, there we go. It's a pretty nice cake of wax right there. It's a solid 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch thick, and a little bit dirty on the back there, but that's really not a problem because we're gonna take this now and put it into a double boiler, which basically is a bottom pot that has water in it, and then the top pot is gonna have this wax in it. And that's really how you want to reheat this wax, is using sort of an indirect heat like that. Otherwise, you risk burning this wax if you just have it directly on a range. So we're gonna get that going and see if we can purify this wax a little bit further. All right, so that wax is already starting to melt. It's only been on there a couple minutes. And in the meantime, I have just a regular old cake pan here. Any sort of, casserole dish or whatever is gonna work for making the wax mold. And then a little bit of wax paper. That'll help it just come out so much easier and just save a lot of elbow grease cleaning this cake pan. And then for the filter itself, I just have an old sock here that, it's a little bit thin, but it doesn't have any holes in it. And then an old peanut butter jar here. And so we're just gonna take and cut the end off this. There we are. That is nothing pretty, but that's gonna get the job done. So we'll just take our sock here and pull it over the top. Perfect. And that's gonna be our, just kind of a rough and ready filter. I have a pretty nice little brick here in the works, but this filter was really starting to get gunked up, and I still had some wax left in that top boiler, and so I just called it quits for now, and I rolled a new piece of the sock onto the filter, and I'm reheating the leftover wax and just what little bit remains, and we're gonna go ahead and do a second filtration and just add it on top of what we already have going here. At this point, it might seem like a little bit, but I've put so much work into this. Every drop is like liquid gold. So we're gonna try to extract as much wax out of this as we can. And so we'll go ahead and do this second running and see what we can get. All right, so there's the finished product. That's a nice little cake of wax there. So this we're just gonna let sit and cool down, get nice and hard, and then at that point we'll be able to use it for candles or any sort of other beeswax projects.